Hey friend, Brandon here from This Is Tech Today. This is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Actually, that is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. We're filming on it right now. I'm going to Korea, and I'm going to film as much of it as I possibly can on the iPhone. So come along for the journey. So a neat little thing that I have set up here. This is the Stallman clamp right here. And then we have an Angelbird reader. So this is all from Condor Blue. They sent this out to me. Thanks so much. And that's making this whole vlog possible. So let's check it out. See you later, Cloud. I love you. Yeah. Oh, see you later, baby girl. I love you. Oh. Thank you. Appreciate it. What makes this interesting is that it's not only my longest flight ever, and oh, by the way, here's what the internet speed was on the flight. It's much better when you're over land than over the ocean. But anyways, yeah, this is my first time visiting South Korea. First note about the iPhone 16 Pro Max, changing photographic style seems buggy, where the highlights will often blow out when you change the style. Is anyone else experiencing this? Oh, I have been up for 24 hours straight, and I'm so glad to finally be in my room. All right, until the morning, and I'll tell you why I'm here. Alright, time to get at it. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why am I in South Korea? It's because I'm here with LG. So we're gonna check out a bunch of stuff. I'll talk about that along the way. This is also called the Twin Towers here for LG. And so this is their headquarters here. But here we are using the iPhone camera on the ultra wide lens. We're going to explore a bunch of different observations using different programs for filming in log or not log. So right now I'm filling in an app called Kino that burns in a LUT. There's an option to do that. This is the one from my friend Evan Schneider. So what are you noticing here about the quality of the video and how it's exposing things? I'll have some observations later on in the video about what I notice, any quirks about any of these apps compared to the normal built-in app. And in terms of the microphones that I'm using at the moment, it's the ones that are built into the phone itself. Now, one of the things that I really like about the iPhone 16 Pro Max is that increased megapixel size on the ultra wide camera, which makes it really great for, vlogging and doing things like this. You get way more of the shot. It's a lot easier to film with. I don't have to be so specific about my framing. I'm probably in the frame now because it's an ultra wide. So it's very exciting to have that.
Can you guess how many bridges do we have? Oh, the 1 hour driving from Seoul.
Okay, so today was very interesting. We'll talk about this in a moment. We found out that LG isn't just making appliances, and now they're trying to go to other businesses to provide a turnkey solution for a factory. I mean, if you need a factory, you probably are not an expert at it. You don't know what to do. So you go to another company like LG and ask for their help on how to make a factory. So they pick a location that's efficient with your supply chain, figure out the design efficiencies of that design, including a whole bunch of robots like this. It can move around, it's autonomous, it has a robot arm on there. Maybe some companies are gonna start having LG factories. The first meal we had was a classic bulgogi bowl, and it was wonderful. One thing I noticed about South Korea were the sound barriers to cut down on traffic noise. In some areas, the top of it curves over the traffic, which makes so much sense as it helps trap and reflect more sound. Brilliant! Now, if you want to enjoy experiencing new places or working out, but want to remain aware of your surroundings to stay connected and safe, the Soundcore Aero Fit 2 with its open ear design is a great option. It's also great if you don't like having things in your ear because it's extra comfortable with flexible 4-level rotatable ear hooks with gentle, soft, liquid silicone to get the most comfortable fit. A double curved surface to distribute pressure evenly, which is very important as having only a couple of points can start to become uncomfortable. Oh, and if you wear glasses, these also work for them. They also have a bass turbo acoustic architecture that Soundcore says adds thunderous bass and high-res wireless audio with LDAC support for high-quality audio. Since you'll be wearing these for a long time, they have up to 10 hours of battery life on a single charge or 42 hours with the case. You can charge it wirelessly or fast charge it in 10 minutes to get 4 hours of playback time. To learn more about the Soundcore Aero Fit 2, check out the link in the description, and thanks to Soundcore for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now question, do you notice a difference in the optical quality between the wide and ultra wide? We're on the ultra wide now. And we're back on the 1X main camera. Of course, on ultra wide, it's a lot easier in terms of framing because it's just so wide. On the 1X, you have to be a little bit more specific, but do you notice anything about the depth of field between the two? Let me know. One thing I'll say is that I still think the main lens has the best image quality and also has that nice depth of field that you'll notice, but let me know what you notice. Okay, so LG is known for a lot of things, but did you know that they are also making EV chargers here? So they have a couple different versions here. They have this smaller one that has a pull-up stall for everything, and then they have this bigger one right here with 2 plugs and that beautiful LG display here. Now this particular unit has CCS1 installed, and I know what you're thinking if you're from North America. Yes, there is an option to have NACS support if you choose to have that for your install, so that is good to see because I mean it's better, right? It's better, right? Okay, right now we're using the main camera app because you're allowed to change the lenses while recording, while Kino only lets you stay on one. Now here is 0.5x, here is 1x, here is 2x, and then here is 5x on the log video setting. So 5x, 2x, 1x, and 0.5x. I think the inside of the LG Twin Towers has a neat vibe and look to it. One of the areas we went to for dinner was high up in this massive building with a stunning view. It was so high up that my ears would pop on the way up and down on the elevator. Look at this crazy view. We had an incredible Korean meal where everything is served on one tray. Now, one thing that Apple said that they improved were the lens flares and orbs on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I noticed that it's still pretty bad, which is unfortunate. All right, we're here in a traditional market here in South Korea. If you've watched the Netflix show Street Food, here is the noodle lady here making stuff right now. We'll get some really awesome shots on the iPhone 16 Pro Max using the Kino app on a bunch of different lenses to show how you can get something that looks really cinematic and awesome, or like a documentary, all from an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Something that's really cool about this area is that it's not very touristy. It's trying to remain like its old school kind of heritage. I never really got to travel much growing up, so it's really cool exploring new cultures and just seeing how they go about doing things. Markets like this have an incredible vibe for taking photos in, but what's still ruining it for me is this whole blowing out the highlights when you change your photographic styles, which I haven't been able to figure out the cause for, because sometimes I'll go back to that photo days later and it's fine. Thankfully, I did take this photo in the setting that I preferred, and it just looks so cool and vibey. Okay, now we are here in the LG Innovation Gallery, and we'll be able to check out a few things. Normally, you can't film or take photos in here, but we're getting a chance to film a few things, so come on. Throughout the trip, I enjoyed filming with the iPhone as my main camera way more than I was expecting. I think the footage looks really good. The quality is now good enough, and the convenience is just so compelling that it makes you not want to use a full-size camera as much. But there are some different things that I could run into that are less than favorable. Like the shot right here with the bright ceiling light there. In the Kino app, it doesn't automatically adjust the exposure like you would have on the stock camera app. And the downside is the stock camera app just takes up so much storage compared to Kino or Blackmagic. And you don't have these amazing LUTs or color grades that are burned into it that make it look really amazing. Something to keep in mind. This is kind of an interesting thing. LG has this, and I guess it's a little bit common in other areas in Korea, but you have mouthwash that you can have for your stinky breath. It's kind of crazy how far smartphone cameras have come. Now, if only we can have faster charging, that would be really convenient because recording video really drains your battery fast. So make sure you have a battery bank. I think the key thing to keep in mind is that if you want the ultimate convenience, you should probably just use a stock camera app for everything in the non-log or ProRes option. But if you want the highest quality footage, you should use log, but you shouldn't use the main camera app because, well, it takes up so much storage. Yes, you do have to deal with the whole inability to switch between camera lenses in the third-party apps, but I think the trade-off for being able to record longer is worth it. And if you think professionals are going to use a real camera and not a smartphone for professional work, well, I mean, almost everybody here was using a smartphone for professional work. Oh, where's Bay? So inside of this market area that's more traditional, that's the Gold Star Market, I believe, is this kind of, it feels like a secret little area that shows off the history and a whole bunch of cool things about LG. Really crazy. Now, we'll definitely have a 120 frames per second test coming up soon, which you won't want to miss. But I'm really curious, what are your thoughts on the quality of the video? Do you notice any differences between log and the default camera settings? I'd love to know what you actually think in the comments. The museum was really cool, and this particular spot was really neat because it's where they handled repairs, and they had a cabinet full of things made out of recycled plastic. And for the diehard Nexus fans, what phone is this? I haven't seen one of these in a long time. Now, after we checked out this little museum, we had some food, and this is kind of crazy. This is my first time having these wiggly little squid little tentacle things. It's crazy. Pay attention. Do you see it?
Thank you.
It's moving. It's alive. Out. I'm always willing to try out something once. It wasn't bad. It tasted like sesame. We then made our way to a restaurant, but on the way over there, we saw that they were setting up this cool celebration here with this awesome stage here with an LED wall. I also saw this dad just dozing off while holding his kid, and I just thought it was so cute. I already missed the food from Korea. It's surprisingly smaller portions than you would expect, but oh so delicious. And after lunch, we walked over to one of the coolest parts of the whole trip. All right, here is a perfect opportunity to test out the audio mix feature here on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. We're going through the different settings here in post, and we're next to all this traffic over here. So how well is it performing with all these cars driving past me? So if you look over there, there's a really awesome monument over there, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max has this amazing feature called action mode. It's just really hard to get a smooth shot when you're in telephoto to get close like that. And so I just run, it looks really shaky, but afterwards when I check the image on it, it's super smooth. And I love using it, but it's not available in third-party apps like Kino or the Blackmagic app, so you have to use the native app. Now, the Kino app does have stabilization built in, but it's not going to be as robust as the stock camera app, so that's something to keep in mind. In noisy environments, I don't think audio mix sounds that great. What do you think? So right now we're going to the palace, and we had an opportunity to get these traditional garments to wear, so it'll be a lot of fun. I am the king. I was trying to figure out what kind of color to work with, and the person who was picking out stuff for me said a bunch of my choices were not very good, so she picked up purple for me. The architecture here is just unreal. The detail and everything is absolutely beautiful. But you know what time it is? It's time for a 120 frames per second test. Get ready.
When I step up in a place, I make it shake. Yeah, banging on my chest, 100 racks in the safe. I don't wanna talk, we don't need to catch a case. I don't wanna flex, but I'm in a different space. When I walk up in the place, better know I make it shake. I make it shake. Ain't nobody ever safe. I make it shake when I walk up in the place. Better know I make it shake.
So there is an unfortunate reality about 4K 120. If you want to record in ProRes log, you have to utilize the stock camera app, and at that rate, it will burn through over 120 gigabytes of data in 4 minutes. So crazy. Now, despite Apple adding more cooling to the iPhone, I still ran into heating issues, which prevented me from using the phone as usual at times. Also, check out these shots and notice the difference in color temperature for the photo. What a fun trip. I love these photos, including these super out of place blue shoes with this outfit. I really do hope that Apple opens up 120 frames per second and the ability to change lenses to third-party apps. That would alleviate a lot of the issues or friction that I ran into over this trip. So the thing that I think is really crazy and cool is that they have the temple right there. They preserve that historical heritage in the building and architecture there, and they have the city all around it. They built around it, but they retain that history, and it's something I wish that we had more of in the United States, because we used to have some really awesome buildings, but we kind of tore it down to go for this kind of plain modern look, so that's a bummer. Now, one of the highlights of the iPhone is the Photographic Styles, and I actually really love it. It adds an opportunity to provide a lot of personality or taste to the photos that you want to take, and the fact that you can adjust it in post is huge. It's not burned into the photo, provided you don't have that whole highlight overblown issue, which I didn't have in this photo. I found that I really prefer the gold style. After our little trip to the temple, we grabbed dinner there, and that was the end of the trip. This trip was so amazing with some incredible people, and I can't wait to go back to South Korea. All right, it's the end of the trip, and I'm now leaving South Korea. What a bummer, but thanks so much to LG for bringing me out here and providing travel and accommodations for this trip. They did not sponsor the video, and they did not pay me for anything, but we are now going to another trip to Japan for the first time. So let me know what you think about this video, the video quality, thoughts on the iPhone in the comments, and thanks for watching This Is Tech Today. Until next time.